So at the outset, we're very grateful for all of you all having stayed back. I know we're running a little late, so we're going to run through this. Just a very simple thing, extreme gratitude from our entire DMG. We put this together on behalf of the DMG. Next slide, please. The three organizing secretaries who, next slide, please. So the three organizing secretaries have come together to give you the 19th Annual Women's Cancer Initiative Tata Memorial Hospital Conference, the concept of which was the Asian Reflections. Next slide, please. And the culmination of all of this came from the fact that we believe we can do the best for our patients and put our best foot forward. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome some of our dignitaries joining us today. We have, and I will ask them to say a few words of encouragement and give us their view on all of this. We have joining us today Dr. Sudeep Gupta, who's the Director of ACTRAC, and Ms. Devika Bhojwani, who's the Vice President of the Women's Cancer Initiative, Tata Memorial Hospital. Over to you, Dr. Gupta.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nair. And I take the opportunity to welcome everyone to the 19th Women's Cancer Initiative Tata Memorial Hospital Conference. It's been close to 2 decades that Women's Cancer Initiative was started by Mrs. Bhojwani for the care and support of patients initially with breast cancer, but later also of patients with gynecological cancers. It has been a very fulfilling experience to have been the General Secretary of this organization for the past 2 decades and work closely with Mrs. Bhojwani and the chairperson of the organization or of our NGO, that is the Director of TMC, Dr. Badwe. We have tried to help as many women as we can in completing their treatments, but more importantly, and somewhat less prominently, we have also tried to support other activities, including awareness about early detection and research in studies that have the potential to impact the outcome of patients with breast and gynecological cancers. I will just place one example for your kind consideration. The study on screening in the underprivileged areas of Mumbai, which was the breast and cervix cancer screening trial, was supported by an R01 grant from the NIH and also from intramural funds from the DAE. But the treatment of all the patients who were diagnosed to have cancers in that study was supported by Women's Cancer Initiative. And I think we will continue to support not only patients, but also meaningful and useful research in the years to come. This conference has become an annual feature, and it is looked forward to by the academic community in India and also many other countries. I would like to congratulate all the 3 organizing secretaries for this year's conference. I think this was one of the best ever conferences of WCI that I have witnessed. And I include some of the conferences that I also organized. Some original data from many different centers in India was presented. And I think this was the brainchild of Dr. Neeta Nair and her 2 colleagues who have organized this conference. This was what was needed to bring our own experience to the fore. And I hope that in the years to come also, we try to not only review the literature from all over the world, but also share our own experiences from many centers in India. Going forward, I think as a culmination and as a natural corollary of this conference, perhaps some of the data that was presented today could be collated into manuscripts that could be written up for peer-reviewed journals. And there, this data would have a wider audience and will help many other individuals in not only caring for their patients, but also in planning future research. So I give that as a recommendation to the 3 organizing secretaries. Your work is not ended today. I think if we get at least a couple of manuscripts, perhaps 3 or 4 on some original collated data from India and the surrounding countries, then this conference then all the effort would be worth it weight in gold. Mrs. Bhojwani is here. Thank you very much, Mrs. Bhojwani, for your partnership and for your constant support. She's the heart and soul of the Women's Cancer Initiative. It is because of her untiring efforts that WCI has been able to not only hold a conference, but support so many patients. She will talk about some of her own experiences, but it has been a pleasure and privilege to work with you, Mrs. Bhojwani. To all the faculty members who have spared their time to be with us yesterday and today, my grateful thanks, and I hope you will continue to be our patrons in the years to come. To all the delegates, thank you very much for attending this meeting, and I hope you all enjoyed the deliberations as much as I did. Thank you very much, and I look forward to the oration, which is as eclectic as the rest of the proceedings, and I'm looking forward to listening to Dr. Silver. So thank you very much.
Mrs. Bhojwani, if I can invite you to say a few words, please.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nair, and thank you so much, Dr. Sudeep Gupta. You've been an inspiration for WCI right from its conception. I thank Dr. Badwe for being part of this and encouraging us. The 19th year, it's wonderful that we've reached so far, but more important, this year, as you said, is very special. The Asian perspective has so much more relevance to the Indian scenario where women in India, are slightly different. The whole economically, socially, we have lots of issues which are different compared to the West. And I'm so glad that this year's conference is actually focusing on that, treatment, outcomes, quality of life. Very proud that we've reached so far and that this conference has become one of the leading conferences of its kind in the country. Of course, WCI, which was set up in 2003, was started originally with the idea of helping socially backward, disadvantaged women. And one of the leading lights and the inspiration to start this was Dr. Katayun Dinshaw, who was then the director of the Tata Memorial Hospital and one of my doctors while I was being treated for breast cancer. She was my radiation specialist. It was conversations with her that inspired me, her drive and her need to support Indian women, realizing that the stigmas that they have, they hide behind. They do not want to let the family know that they will become a burden, a financial burden. So they come at very late stages. This is our biggest problem in India. We have been battling this. And at that point, I realized that there was something that we needed to do. And that's when we started the Women's Cancer Initiative. Over the last 19 years, we have supported hundreds of women to go through their treatment emotionally, financially. Very proud of where we've reached today. But it couldn't have happened without all of you being part of this. And some of the leading lights of the world in breast cancer have been part of our conferences year after year. I'm really grateful to you. I'm grateful for you for taking the time off. Dr. Gupta, you said something very special that even in these very difficult COVID times, we've actually held a conference which is so relevant, with so much data, which now should be recorded, which will throw light on so many ways ahead. On a personal note, I'm really proud to be part of a organization, the Tata Memorial Center, which believes in breast conservation before anything else. Breast conservation surgery changes everything, the scenario for a woman. I personally know of very close friends who had to lose breasts without really needing to do so because it's the easier option. What happens is you lose the light in your eyes. It changes your life forever. I am proud to be part, and I'm saying this on the record, that the Tata Memorial Center makes it their mission to, as far as possible, save the breast. It saves that woman, the woman who is basically the leading light of a family. It changes her whole perspective. I am really grateful for all of you to be part of this. We, as Dr. Gupta says, have a lot more to do. We have a lot further to go. But we are there, here, and we are moving the right direction. Thank you, each one of you, for being part of this. I'm very proud to be here for the oration that we are awarding to Dr. Julia Silva, and I'm looking forward to being here to listen to it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mrs. Bhojwani. And if this was a live conference, this would be the time for a big round of applause for all the three organizing secretaries, Doctors Jyoti Bajpai, Rima Pathak, and Neeta Nair. Unfortunately, the claps cannot be heard, but they are there. So thank you very much, all three of you.
Thank you so much, sir.